Well, we're always talking about individuals who are able to live their lives with purpose and passion. And our next guest is doing just that. Brian Letscher is making his first appearance here on our program. He's an actor that many of you have gotten to know from the Law & Order franchise, maybe even from CSI. But many of you have gotten to know him recently because he's Tom on the hit show on ABC, Scandal. He's making his first appearance here to talk to us not only about his journey in acting, but what it's been like for him also to share his love of theater as well. Brian, good afternoon to you, and welcome to Conversations Live.
Thank you, Cyrus. It's good to be here.
Well, the pleasure is definitely all mine. We know this is a busy time for you guys with the new season of Scandal just beginning. Let's go ahead and just start with Scandal for a moment, Brian. A lot of people have been attracted to this show. I one of the late bloomers, I guess. It was season 2 when I kind of got into it. What has it been like for you to be a part of this program that really has taken over television on Thursdays?
Yeah, it certainly has. When Saks does their windows with Scandal mannequins, that you know that they've definitely taken over. Pretty incredible. It's been great. I have to say that it was totally unexpected for me in the sense of not only I guess where the show has gone, although it was a Shonda Rhimes show, so there's part of you that's going, yeah, this has a pretty good chance of being a hit.
Right.
You know the writing's going to be good. You know the storytelling's going to be good. But for me it was supposed to be one episode as far as I knew. It was going to be one episode, and we did it, and we had a great time, and then there was one more episode in the first season, which was the first season was 7 episodes, so that was great, and so it really up until today it's just been, hey, sit back and enjoy the ride, and whatever comes, and how lucky am I to work with these people.
Exactly. And when I was prepping for this segment with you, Brian, I go back to an interview that you did back in 2010 when you, of course, were the playwright for the project, When the Lights Come On. And you were talking about in that interview about your love of acting and the move that you made to be able to pursue this. Has it just seemed like a form of validation for you that you've been on some of the biggest shows on television, and in the process, you've been able to do something that you are passionate about?
Yeah, it was, acting was a second career for me, almost a third career, actually. I don't want to date myself, so let's just say each of those careers only took 6 months, but it really was, and once I settled in that I was going to do this, for a living or not for a living, whatever was going to come, I was going to act. Then it absolutely became something. Everything became a little bit of a surprise for me, and I really hooked into the fact that that this was going to. It's not an easy career, but I had really kind of had no choice at that point. And you hear people say that, but oftentimes as an actor you come to the crossroads, whether it's financially or just the emotional toll that the business can take on you if you allow it to, and you have to continually make a decision, is this something I want to continue to do? And the answer every time for me was yes, and it's just gotten better and better and better and better, and I've been very fortunate early on in New York to work on some big shows and work with some terrific actors and directors and really learn on the job, because I didn't go to college for it, and I sort of piecemealed my education and got to learn on the job, which was, again, I feel very fortunate. And then to get an opportunity to play in theater really was a difference maker as well, particularly the Purple Rose Theater in Michigan, which is the play you're talking about. As a playwright, I wrote my first play in the Purple Rose, which is actually where I took my first acting class as well, presented that play, put on a full equity run of that show, and convinced me to act in it, and I mean, it was just an amazing experience, and it's been uphill and downhill since then.
One last question I have for you that I try to ask everyone, so I would love to be able to get your input on this. We've kind of talked about your own experience in following your passion. What advice do you have for people who come to you, as I'm sure they do, who want to know, what would you say to them about the importance of realizing their passion and staying true to it?
Wow. How much time do we have? I would say that's a big one. I would say that it's sort of, once you get on that path, you can't get off, in my opinion. So make sure you want to get on, because it's usually following your passion. It's a lot of work, and because it means so much to you. However, I would say there's really no other choice, because you get one shot. You get one time, and for me, this is going to sound really morbid, Cyrus, but oftentimes I think about myself as an 85-year-old man, and I think about, sitting in a rocking chair or laying in a bed somewhere and thinking back on my life, and what do I want to think at that point? And it really gives me very distinct, sharp perspective on what's important to me as a person and to the path I want to take. And there's at that point, when I think about that, there's just no other choice but to follow what you're passionate about. And truly, ultimately, I think that's what makes you happy, and if you're happy, it allows the other people around you to be happier as well.
There you go. I think you're hearing it from someone who knows firsthand. Again, everyone, Brian Letscher has been our guest. Make sure you guys do stay in contact with him. As he said, you can find him online on Twitter at @Letscher is where you can find him there. So make sure you guys are following him and staying in contact with him and all his projects. And again, Brian, congratulations to you. And thank you so much for taking out the time. I really appreciate it.
Oh, man, thanks for having me, Cyrus. Go Gladiators.
All right, go Gladiators indeed.